Hello, welcome to my channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, you could tell I'm filming the same day I am filming my yoga video, but this is actually Get Fit With Me series presents accountability. And one of the things I do and been trying to get back into doing is getting my base back for running, because I do have a goal for this year to run kind of one of my older times for like a 50K. I want to get a decent time for my 50K. I want my average running pace to be back to for like a 5K, 8:30, 9-minute miles easy. It's been a minute since it's been that, but I am working on trying to get that, including trying to get this weight off and running more, which would easily in turn get the weight off. And so anyway, I wanted to share my journey with this Get Fit With Me series accountability. And one of the things I am going to show you today is me getting prepared to do a run. It's not going to be my long run yet. I'm probably not going to start doing really, really long runs until closer to March, because that's when my half marathon training will start. But I am doing a combination with my marathon training in March, half marathon training, of a hybrid between like an advanced, intermediate, and novice. So like the longer runs are going to be more on the novice side, but I'm actually adding speed work in there and tempo runs. So it's going to be a weird mix. That's my plan. I'll show you what I did when we get to that point, but I kind of wanted to I decided to do that based off of, actually, believe it or not, the 30-day yoga challenge I've been doing, because I feel like that was a good gauge to figure out where my fitness level's at, along with my running in general lately, because the goal is I want to be able to get my base back. But I also realize a lot of the reason why my running hasn't been that great is because of here. I have not been mentally into running. And I don't like that for me, because it's kind of a huge part of my identity. So I've been working to try to get my mind back into that space of loving running. And the worst thing you could do is burn yourself out when you already felt like you were burned out. So we're trying to gradually get our headspace back, but also get the fitness level back to where it needs to be, where I can start doing the longer mileages and faster mileages and more challenging runs, but not feel burned out. So you guys are going to follow me in that journey as well. I'm going to show you that too coming soon with this channel. But the main thing I wanted to show you today, though, is my stretching, pre-workout stretching for running. Because lately, especially with last year, what happened with my toe and the fact that I wasn't able to run as much, my ankles, which is a huge component to running, particularly the fact that I am more of a trail runner than a road runner. I consider myself more of a trail runner. My ankles, I don't think, can handle the trails right now, and we need to fix it. So besides me getting my work done, because I am getting massages regularly, and I did start back with the Epsom salt baths, I want to show you some stretches, pre-workout stretches you can do to help strengthen the ankles to be able to handle the abuse of the pounding. Because, yeah, those who don't know, I've had issues in the past, particularly with the left side, which was not the side where I broke anything. That was a good side where I did that with. So now we're equal here, unfortunately, but not in the way we want to be. Where I've kind of always had Achilles issues on my left side. So I've always been able to do, when I was running my prime stuff, that was the side where I really was focusing on, but now I kind of got to do it with both. Because also the other thing is, Father Time's undefeated. That's a whole entire other thing. And outside of that, we also have the issue of, for me, and whenever I have these kind of issues or hangups, I could tell later on in life arthritis is happening and is going to happen. And yesterday when I ran, and it was kind of not the best of weather, child, arthritic. I can feel it. I can feel that it was like I could feel the moisture through my bones. Anyway, so I'm doing a lot of rambling, but I kind of want to give you a nice, decent intro to where this particular series of accountability is going to be going for the year, because I already did mention I was going to kind of switch it up with this series. This, moving forward, this is going to be where you follow me getting my base back, my half marathon training, and then my 50K training, and then getting it done for both. So you'll see me doing the half marathon. Well, you'll see parts of it. It depends, because if my fitness level is where I want it to be, I won't be filming it, because I'm going to be running for time. And that's my goal. But I will let you know recap wise how I did. So I'll show you a little bit of stuff before the race and then a little bit after the race. But I'm hoping I get back to that machine personality I used to have, because I have rest in peace, I have an old running friend that literally used to call me the machine when I was running races, because he was like, you are on a mission when you be running these races. Because I used to kill it. Like I used to win my age group and stuff. So I'm getting sick of saying used to. We're about to get that back. We're running that back. But anyway, I'm probably going to have this voice over here throughout the other stuff, because I don't think you need to see this the whole time. I think you need to see me do the workouts. I have, I believe, a total of 5 workouts I'm going to be showing you as pre-workout. Let's get into it. So the first stretch that we're going to be doing, you can just kind of lie down, or you can be seated like I am. And if you don't want to do it this way, there are other stretches that are great alternatives for this. But it's kind of something you would use for yoga, kind of similar to what you use for yoga. So it's more or less recommended to have more of a resistance band. But if you don't have a resistance band, you can also use like a strap that you would use for yoga too. And it kind of does the same purpose. You can either do one-legged, which I actually personally prefer to do the one leg. And so while you're doing this, you're pushing into your strap as you're pulling. So you're doing a push-pull, and it's supposed to help strengthen your foot, particularly the ankle area too. So this is kind of good for multiple parts. So if you like your foot, pretty much a lot of like your, flexors here. So it's good for a little bit of all. So it's good for like this is going to be more of a gastrocnemius stretch though too, which is part of your calf. But like for those who are aware, and those who run, or really just someone who has a stand-up job a lot, your calf muscles are a huge proponent to help keeping your ankles nice and strengthened. Like if your calves are weak, that in turn is going to also cause issues for your ankles, especially if your ankles are already weak. So if you can see here, I'm kind of going back and forth. I'm actually let's hide this. Let me just show you the one. I'm kind of going back and forth here. And you can either hold it and kind of do this more of a static stretch and then switch from here, or you could do what I'm kind of doing right now. And a dynamic stretch is when you're kind of just moving back and forth to kind of get things going. I'm doing more of a dynamic stretch because I'm doing a pre-workout. I'm doing a pre-run stretch. So typically for running or working out, it's best to usually do a dynamic stretch before the workout, because it's kind of like a little bit of a warm-up, if you will. and then do your static stretching post-workout, which is more of like holding poses and whatnot, because you're trying to get the blood flowing, get things going. Because also a lot of things are tied to your feet getting messed up, particularly Achilles issues, shin splints, even a little bit of that planters. It's related to the blood flow is not blood flowing like it should. That's usually a lot of it is part of that. And the blood flowing thing could be for multiple reasons. Let's not get twisted. If you already have an injury, your blood flow is going to be kind of not good, because the way your body heals itself is it's going to that particular injured area to bring fluid into it to try to heal it. So in turn, it's going to the rest of your body is going to be kind of off a little bit. Also, if you notice here, I'm doing some variations. That's kind of why I like to do it one at a time versus both, because I also add some rotations here. So I'm doing some rotations also. I'm focusing a little bit more on the left side versus the right, ironically, because for those, I think I say in the beginning of the video here, my left side's my problem area. This is the side that gets injury prone for me. So kind of doing a little bit more than I would normally. So that's kind of a little bit of what you would do here. And yeah, man, I can feel my arch is still like not happy. And then another stretch you could do is doing it together. And I personally like using the strap, like a yoga strap, instead of like a resistance band, because I can just kind of do with it a little bit more for me. Oh yeah. Ooh. So this is really good to do both also. And I can tell my left side is so tight. Oh my. But this, I would say it's very good. Ooh. All right, so that's one thing you can do. And this is with a strap or a resistance band. A resistance band, you're gonna have a little bit more elasticity and options with that. But for me, I wanted a strap. I actually have a resistance band, or had. I don't think I have one anymore. Maybe I did. Anyway, but I would definitely recommend using one or the other. Unless you're pretty flexible, I still would use, even if you are flexible, I still would use a band for that, because the focus it's not a seated forward bend, it's about your feet. So next though, I'm gonna kind of go a little bit more over here so you can see what I'm doing a little bit more, because I feel like you're not seeing what I'm doing well. We're gonna do basically like a seated stretch, where you're kind of massaging your feet, but you're actually moving it up and down. And this is, I'm using, it's kind of like a dynamic stretch. And because you're doing it this way, this is catering towards that opposing muscle group in your calf. So your calf has gastrocnemius and the soleus, I believe is how you enunciate it. And they're opposing muscle groups that keep your calves, so that your calves can do its job of basically handling the impact instead of your feet or ankles handling your impact. Which is why calf stretches, calf raises, all that is super important to do, even if you're not a runner. If you're someone who is just active, or someone who even just works on your feet a lot, yeah, it's a good thing. Because also too, if you are keeping your feet nice and active and the flow is flowing right, this will also probably help prevent, I mean, I don't think it could, I think if it runs in your family, it's a higher percentage of you getting varicose veins, but this is great for circulation. That's pretty much what I'm trying to get at. Because varicose veins is another thing that's very much related to circulation issues. Oh, yeah. Okay. And for the foreseeable future, until my ankles get strong again, and really, I feel like this is just going to be a foreseeable future thing for me in general. Because of me getting older, this is just going to be warm-ups that I have to do before a run. Because I definitely noticed it again yesterday. I think part of it also is tied to I probably need new running shoes, but I'm going to hold off a little bit longer because I still shouldn't feel this way for a short run. Because typically when you need new running shoes, at least for me, I could really tell more during a longer run. I still usually should be able to use the longer run shoes for a shorter run and be okay. But it also, the other thing that could be factoring in with what's going on is weight gain. That will do it too. So the other thing I'm doing, so right now I'm using this as like a dynamic stretch. For a post-workout stretch you could do that makes it static is you're holding onto your foot and so you're using your hands to push your foot towards you while until you're using your toe, you're pushing your toe into your hands. So you're kind of doing like a push-pull. And oh yeah. Oh. I'm not gonna lie, that stretch alone, when I just did the one time as dynamic, as a static, I felt relief there. That actually felt very good. So I think I need to do that one. I'm taking notes. I'm doing like self-inventory at the same time, which is another thing that's really good about these type of stretches. You can do this as self-inventory. I think I'm going to start off with these two today. So I will highlight a couple more in another video because I feel like I'm going long and then this is getting long-winded. So anyway, that concludes this video. I will see you later. Bye. Side note, I forgot to mention for the seated poses that I did, I technically did 4 different exercises there. So they're tied to, because it's tied to multiple things when you're doing these exercises. They're tied to like strengthening your calves, but also strengthening parts of your feet, which also will help strengthen your ankles basically. So I kind of wanted to share that preface because I'm not sure if I made that clear. There were multiple stretches I was doing there at once. And because to me, it makes sense just to do all of it while you're in those positions, not just to do the one or the other. Just incorporate all the different stretches you want to do here before a run. And I'm so used to doing these stretches kind of on my own anyway, that I don't think of them as like, this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3. Anyway, have a good one. Bye.